Hello, everybody.
Boy, have we got a show for you today. It's an extra special show today.
Yes,
Welcome to Castle Super Beast.
I'm gonna reach off Mike and pull up a prop here.
Oh, man. That's a good prop.
I'm holding up a prop.
Oh, man, that's a good prop. A good visual bit.
I'm holding up a T-shirt.
It's a t-shirt.
It's a very cool T-shirt.
I wore it the other day. It was very nice to feel on my nipples.
And if you want to acquire a T-shirt, such as this one, you can go to tinyurl.com/CastleSuperBeastShirts.
I mean, that does work.
That's the best way to group things together.
Yes.
Until otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
And if you would like to see the shirt, if you're on the audio, you can always go to that URL. If you're on the visuals, then you get to see it. Look at that. That's great. What a nice shirt.
You could also, I wore it the other day on stream. I forget what stream. You just click through last week's, and you can see what it looks like when it stretches comfortably over a man's orb.
Yes. Speaking of stretching comfortably over an orb.
Yeah? Okay.
I've been stretched uncomfortably
Oh,
over
yeah?
my toilet bowl.
Hey guys. This is what I was going to go for before. Today's a very special episode of the Castle Super Beast podcast. Today, and hopefully God, only today, you just might see one of us run away in order to not shit our pants. Both Woolie and I having a real good bout of being afraid to shit our pants.
So I don't know what's going on with you.
I got stomach stuff.
You got
all
stomach
the time.
stuff. Okay. Well, I don't
It's
get
an ongoing battle.
I don't get stomach stuff all the time. Pretty rarely. But for some reason, I went to Toronto and I came back and all I got was this horrible food poisoning.
You know what you got?
What did I get?
Jealous of the poop bandit.
Mm.
And your body is jealous now.
My body is providing me with the ammo.
Yeah.
Yep, telling me what to do. It's
Speaking to you in tongues.
It's not great. It's been a not great couple of days. Here's the bit. It's been worse, and
I've never known anyone to get food poisoning as often as you.
but it's like, I mean, it's still a handful of times over the course of my life, but it literally is all you have to do is eat one bad
Yeah, I know.
meal.
I've never known a person to get food poisoning once. Sorry, more than once.
Yeah.
So I think this is what, 3, 4.
No, maybe no, yeah, probably like 4 or 5 times, right? And it's like, I've known people that have gotten.
Just don't try new things.
I've known people that have gotten it too, but it's also basically like, again, it's the easiest thing to get. Consume one bad meal.
In some cases, one bad bite.
And that's all it takes, you know? So I've had really, really bad ones, and this is easily like amongst the least offensive versions of it.
But it's still not great.
Still not great. The really, really bad ones are when you are unable to move for a couple of days. Right? The really bad ones are like when I was the first time I ever got it was like, you know, maybe whatever 10 or 11 and like a hot dog that just, you know, no
It didn't have enough healthy rat meat in it.
well, well, first of all, you're talking about super Christian household. So you best believe that those hot dogs are absolutely not pork or miscellaneous meat hot dogs. They're super duper chicken hot dogs.
Okay. They're step one to getting food poisoning.
Well,
chicken is the worst offender of them all.
And then there's frankfurters for beef, you know, or whatever. But you see, because that goes into the E. coli stuff and whatnot.
And step 2 is vegetables.
But I mean, in any case, it was just whatever. There was you didn't know what was off when you had it, and then it went bad, you know. And in retrospect, and that was days on the floor, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was like days of like, oh, you're gone. You're not moving. You're not getting out of bed.
Is anybody like, crawling. He's faking it?
No, my brother got it too.
Oh, well, I mean, that'd be tough to both of you fake it like that.
We both had it, and we were both like, okay, bed or the floor, right? So, you know, that was the
good place to be.
That was the bad one. I mean, I got it from bad rice at a wedding. Right? In fact, like everyone that had the rice got it. So the nightmare occurred.
Jesus Christ.
Where everyone that came and celebrated had to then fucking deal with that. Really, really harsh on the old people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
food preparation's no joke.
Definitely not.
It's one of those things that I remember watching. I watched a lot of Kitchen Nightmares with Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah.
And Gordon Ramsay's a cantankerous, angry fellow. But the ones where he would really just lose his shit is he'd see like chicken or like vegetables just hanging out.
Yeah. And
he's like, people can die from this.
Yeah.
It's not a joke.
You know, something as simple as that. And of course it's like that's whether that's down to like the hired caterers being garbage or the hired caterers being cheap hired caterers,
or on the much less likely but more fun to think about, evil.
Possibly. Yeah, so whatever, that's how that went down, and that was, you know, like the second time or so. And then there was like, yeah, stuff is like when I was back at IDOS, back at Squeenix, and I had that salad, and I had a shrimp salad, basically, and it was not a shrimp salad, it was a salad
with shrimps,
with shrimp in it. Usually I go for the chicken. This place had a really good bowl of like salad, whatever, and this time I was like, let me just try something different, and I went for something different, and it was shrimp, and that scrimp was not ready.
Those prawns were passed,
or maybe it was more than ready. Maybe it was beyond ready. Maybe it was,
its readiness had passed,
and it went off, and that was that, you know. And that was a bad one. That's another one where you're like, woof, you're getting fucked. Somebody's getting fucked. And yeah, like, possibly like another smaller instance in more recent years.
That cheesecake did you in. I'll never forget that PAX cheesecake on the fucking cabinet.
Nah, that's just meme status, dude.
You were ill.
But that's like at this point, that's just dumb meme status. Like, it's
okay.
Just,
you've been poisoned enough that one has become deranked.
No, that one has just become it was based off of a joke, which was funny, and then it just got ran into the ground to me. Because,
you did get sick after eating it.
Yeah, but that's not anyway. Okay, all right. I'm pretty sure. Like the fact that
you would have gotten sick anyway?
No, that's not what I'm pretty sure it was something else that I had that weekend specifically, because the amount of the amount of targeted bullshit on that story, and like for what it actually was, which is literally a piece of like do we even need to go back?
No.
All right.
I was just shocked that you would be like, "Oh no, that one doesn't count."
The hyperbole on that is stupid. It was not the cheesecake. I had something else.
Oh, what was it?
Okay, I'm not sure.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure that wasn't.
So you're sure it wasn't this, but you're.
When I got sick, it wasn't the day. It wasn't right after eating it.
Yeah.
Okay. That weekend there was the whole it was like, okay, that thing was there. Yes, it was on the table. I've had stuff like that had not been like that bad. I've had stuff that had been out like that had not been that bad. Mm-hmm. And when you get food poisoning, you pretty much know right away. It takes a couple hours it's basically between the point that you eat the meal and the
as soon as it hits your stomach.
As soon as it hits your stomach, you start to know right away. And it was not right away. So why would it be that? That was the reason why that became the bit, was because that's what Matt and Liam and whatever,
and Matt and Liam, myself and Paige all looked at you going to eat a 3-day-old cheesecake off a fucking hotel countertop and went, "Nah, don't do that."
So the number keeps going up each time.
It was out there for at least 1 day.
It was literally the span of hours. It was literally the span of hours, right?
No,
it just got exaggerated to the entire weekend.
I will text my girl and I will confirm this.
Anyway,
that was
and then it takes.
She's asleep. She's not gonna be able to.
But it usually takes a while for that it takes not sorry any blah opposite of that. You find out pretty quickly what's causing it, as such as this time where it was like moments after, like maybe less than an hour after the meal, maybe an hour after the meal, like you're like, oh, that's not, something's up. And then begins the spiral.
Yeah.
You know?
Let me ask you, I don't know if this is a little too personal, but is it mostly down or is it also up?
I mean, at first it's both.
Okay.
And then later it becomes down.
Okay, because down, I mean, as bad as down can be, up is the worst. Up is just...
Yeah, not great. Anyway...
Hey, I have a question for you. This has nothing to do with food poisoning. Well, tangentially.
Sure.
When you were younger, and you're throwing up, or what? You got stomach flu or something. Did you have a designated bucket?
Still do.
How do you do that? Because I
mean, hospitals have pans.
No, oh, Woolie's sick again. Get out the puke bucket.
Well, it's not a bucket. It's a container.
Okay.
And then again, it is like like hospitals have these containers.
Yeah.
And you need to have one because you cannot live by the toilet for the entire time you're sick.
The reason I ask is because when I was a little kid, all the way up until I was 20 or whatever, there was a single orange bucket in the house that was like, oh, Pat's sick, get him his orange bucket. And the sight of that thing filled me with dread. Because every time I saw it, I knew I was going to throw up.
Okay.
And I'm not sure which, I'm convinced at some point it would cause me to throw up.
Well, for me, it's a container. It's the blue. It's the blue container, and I still have it. And
you got it from your mom?
Yeah. It's
your childhood puke bucket.
I mean, it's the thing that would sit next to your bed, and that's what you need when you can't get up. And whatever you wash, you disinfect, you do your thing, and then it goes back where it goes. And then you keep it by the ready if you ever need it again. But an actual bucket, it's that's a bit much.
Oh no, I don't like.
It's more
necessarily.
It's more of a
I'm not talking about the
pan.
I'm not talking about the bucketness of the scenario. Just the designated vomit.
Yeah. I
receptacle.
still have it.
And no negative association, huh?
I mean, it's a lifesaver, quite frankly.
Because I made a joke about it the last time I was hanging out with my mom and dad, and my mom was like, "Oh yeah, we still have that. You want to see it?" And I got upset. I was like, "I don't want to look at it."
Yeah.
Because if I looked at it, I bet I would throw up.
Yeah. No, to me, I'm I think more of the awful times when it's not around, and then how it becomes a really bad run for whatever. And you never want to have to be in a situation where you have 1 second to decide which place to aim it.
Yeah.
Because whatever you do,
it's gonna be
bad, right? Yeah. So there's always options. Now,
I remember being really little and having the decision of the floor or my sheets. That's my decision.
Yep. Often, I remember there was the Sprint, and then the Sprint got cut short where it's couldn't reach the toilet, hit the sink instead.
That could be much worse than
but that's a bad one though, because it's that's not going anywhere for a minute. You got to deal with that.
Yeah, but it's better than the floor or your clothes.
Yeah, I guess.
It's right next to water. Water is your friend.
Yeah, it's just and then there's in polite company,
yes.
Right? There's pull your shirt up. And you can just go for that if you have nothing and you don't want to hit the floor or anybody around you.
I would rather hit the floor or anyone around me.
I'm sure. In fact,
I disagree with this ideal.
Based on most drunken people's etiquette, there is
the
clear,
least okay thing.
Yeah. I guess it's like I guess it depends, right?
Like I can come around to like sneezing in your shirt or whatever. I can live in that world.
If we're all standing in a place where you can aim it completely away from people and not on like someone's car or some shit,
I would so readily throw up on someone's car than myself.
The problem with the shirt catch
is what do you do right afterwards?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. You cut it off your body.
No, that's why I think everyone's recoiling is like there's no follow-up.
There's no plan. What are you gonna lift your shirt above your body? You can't. Yeah, you're fucked.
You just gotta pour it out onto the ground that you were gonna pour it out onto anyway.
You know, or hope that you can get to a bathroom and like
die.
Just die in it. Yeah. No, it ain't great. It ain't great.
I don't like it when our bodies rebel against us with their basic functions.
But there are times when, like, I still think that's the move. Right? Okay.
I demand one scenario.
I am at a wedding reception.
Right on the grass.
It's indoors.
Okay, right on the church.
In the room where it's happening.
Yeah.
No.
Start running.
You're not, but like...
Run as fast as you can.
On the ground, in the room, you've ruined it.
Yeah? Oh, you're right. Hey guys, what's going on over there? Oh, it's just member of the bridal party / guest, whatever... Mr. Wooly fucking vomiting all over into his suit to hold it for us.
Have you seen the video
of you doing this?
Of a bridesmaid just yakking right in front of the ceremony?
Yeah, it's actually relatively common. People get nervous and they throw up.
Well, that to me is a ruiner because you're basically looking at a stench that's not going to go anywhere, even though they have to continue with what they're doing. You can take a break and wipe it up, but everybody knows what just happened. And, like, at the very minimum, I think if you can remove yourself drastically and extremely, they can continue without the whole place smelling like garbage, you know? It's a sacrifice.
But you're not following up with the... Okay, so you pull out the shirt... Of your suit.
It's jumping in front of a bullet.
No, you're not. No, I want to hear the follow up.
Okay.
So you're in a suit. You're in a suit.
It's awful, right?
Okay.
It's an awful situation that you're because again the
refuse this.
The disrobing is probably the worst shit in the world, if not impossible. But the hope at the very least in this extreme scenario, because again, not always called for, but in that type of scenario, I feel like I would take the bullet because then you run, you get to the nearest toilet, you release.
Wooly,
yes,
I want you to walk me through piece by piece. You're in a suit.
Yes.
Regular man suit.
Okay.
Shirt, overcoat, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
You pull the shirt out of your,
grab the bottom, pull it up
into
create a little bowl.
Okay, a little bowl.
Create a little horrible bowl.
Okay.
No time to get the shoot off.
Now, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know about you, but the ability to aim your head straight down with accuracy while vomiting, some of it's going to hit the floor, man.
Yeah.
And also...
Yeah. Well, by the way, have you ever been in a situation where it's come on so fast that you didn't know it was coming on before?
Once.
Because for me, at the very least, every time it's come on, it's been... I have minutes of alert to get up and remove myself. So let's not forget the biggest part of this.
For vomiting, for me, I have had a maximum of 45 seconds ever. And on one occasion, once, I had 1 second of warning.
Okay, I've never been completely unaware with, like, seconds to go.
Yeah.
I've always had minutes.
Most people don't have minutes.
Yeah. Every time I've had it, I've had minutes, and I've had the ability to get up and go,
yeah. But let's assume you have, like, You're standing and the reception's happening. You have 10 seconds to decide.
And here's the thing. I guess the one, like, here's an exception, right? I think, like, drunkenness, like fucking
being wasted,
beer barfing.
Yeah.
That's where it's like it's there, but you're fucking wasted, so you're not really paying attention.
But
into
okay,
that
so
planning
so you're
out.
trying to cup it in your shirt, right?
Okay, so you're going for that.
Okay, so there's 3 problems right away. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You ever try and cup water out of a stream or of a sink?
Consistency's thicker than water.
Have you? Sometimes it spills out the size of your hands.
The
yes?
consistency is thicker than water.
Okay. 2, sometimes the consistency is not much thicker than water.
It usually is.
Okay, but sometimes it's not. And 2, because of the way puke works, the consistency is uneven. Some is much thicker than water. Some is
not.
water.
Yeah.
The water's going to run straight through and hit the floor anyway. Like, you're not saving the floor at all. You're only making sure that every part of you is now covered in puke.
The types that I've had that I'm thinking of, it would be a huge difference.
I want to poison you to see this play out.
Because here's the other thing too, and I was going to say the other type is when you have it there and you know you're going to, so you have to kind of almost induce it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those ones are rough.
For me, it's usually pretty easy. It's go hang out next to the toilet for a bit, and the location and the context will do the rest for you.
And you kind of know, and you're just like, fuck, I don't want to, but I know it's right there.
Yeah.
And I know it's going to go down, so let me just...
I can do it now or I can do it later.
Exactly. And you just got to fucking sit there and spit.
You want to fucking... Hey.
But what I'm saying, right, and especially given fucking recent context, right, you're getting a whole lot of, like, nah, that's just going to hit the surface of that.
Yeah.
And it's going to... the consistency is pretty thick.
Woolie, I genuinely feel that if you're going to throw up, you should scan the room for people, turn away from those people, lean as far forward as you can, and throw up. Because, you puked on the floor, they'll clean it up, right? And we're in the wedding analogy still. You know, the smell, whatever. Like, you're ignoring the part where... Hey, where's Woolie? Oh, he puked all over his own suit and ran away.
Yeah. To save it.
Instead of,
he's a
little sick, he's back now.
It's an extreme case, right?
I don't think this saves anything.
I think it would. I really think it would. Based on the types of vomits that I've had, based on the amounts, right? And I remember my cousin.
Oh my god.
My cousin one time had one that was like there was no fluid. There had to be a little. No, but it was a contained drop that hit the ground and stayed together. Like, I understand.
That seems like your cousin's unwell.
Because that's the thing is there's all kinds, right? And boozy ones are alcohol, so that's just the fluid coming back up. If you're barfing beer and shots, then it's just alcohol coming back up.
Yeah,
right?
Your body doesn't want it.
If it's food, you're getting a lot of food, and that's what I'm trying to make the difference here today. I'm not barfing the same shit that you had when you got drunk that one time.
No,
it's a meal.
Woolie, I've been half for liquid/foods. I'm aware, but even food barfs.
This is getting.
Even food barfs have consistency.
I don't want this conversation to go into this detail. It's pretty fucking horrible and gross. But if you're pulling the questions out in this way, I have to answer them.
You can't
because if you haven't had the same types, then you're not.
I think that choosing to barf all over yourself might be the worst solution to a bad problem I have ever heard in my life.
Like the thickness of the sweater that I have right now,
is way thicker than a fucking dress shirt.
You're coming up off a vest too, probably, but you know, every suit.
Well, if you have time to take your vest off,
you don't have time
and
to
then use the vest.
You don't have time to take your vest off. They're
wow.
both on you, but I'm wearing a suit with a vest each time anyway. But we're dealing with a vest on top of a shirt, regardless. But that's changing that's moving the goalpost.
Yeah.
The point I'm making is the sick type consistencies are a lot of chunk and a lot less fluid.
Am I weird that like talking about this kind of stuff doesn't unsettle my stomach at all?
No, I can have this conversation because I'm living in this world right now.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of people are not.
Yeah, some people are like throwing up right now.
Some people are skipping past this conversation.
Yeah.
Waiting for whatever else to happen.
Yeah, well.
And in which case, like, skip 2 hours forward and we're still talking about barf.
Or we've actually just cycled back to
it's the barf
in that
episode.
5-minute
They
bit.
never stopped. I'm sorry, but yeah. I'm
Listen,
like,
we've all been there. Everyone listening to this podcast has had to vomit, and at least one of those vomits has gone bad.
like, I assure you, it's not a completely unreasonable decision to make if you're in a situation where you're like, I need to minimize the explosion of this grenade, right? It's jumping on the grenade. And if me having my suit ruined and being removed from that
Life.
right for that, you know, in that immediate moment, for the sake of like, well, that like it's a bad moment versus a fucking janitor has to come in.
I just don't think you're gonna save as much as you think you're going
No,
to.
here's the problem. You're because the leak through. I'm telling you, it's not leak through.
Okay,
right? The what you should be talking about, and the danger point that you've completely ignored. If I'm going to argue my own,
all right,
is the walk.
Oh yeah,
it's the transport.
Oh yeah,
right.
A single jostle, and you've now made the process way worse.
That's the danger zone. So you're trying to keep your head down, probably not be seen with it all over your fucking beard
and face and
whatnot,
chest
and you're holding it up, and you're trying to contain. You gotta go hold your fists together.
Yeah.
Because if you are too spread apart, you're leaking. You're spreading. You're risking back leak. You know, so you can't have that. You don't want to trail.
And we got a good comment in here that it's going to be easier for the janitor overall if it was all in one spot instead of dripping all over the path to the bathroom.
I mean, at which point if you're getting up and it's all, if it happens to clear everything and it's not on your shoes or whatever and it's all in that one spot, then I guess that is there too. You don't want to leak.
It's going to leak.
You don't want to leak.
It's going to leak. You have an unrealistic view of the competence level of your shirt.
Would it leak?
Yeah, dude, it's gonna leak for sure. For fucking sure.
What if you really like grab the sides and have the gravity?
Then the water part of it is gonna soak right through the bottom and leak out the bottom straight through whatever clothes.
I'll tell you what, too. Like at the point that occurs as well, if you have like, I don't know, let's say access to your girlfriend's purse.
Okay.
Right? If you could grab the purse, right?
I would rather vomit all over myself, thank you.
Right?
Makeup is expensive.
If you can contain into anything nearby or reinforce, right? So let's say you're stuck with the shirt and then you're like, all right, now the movement begins. We're stuck where we are. What can I do, right? Is there anything around, such as this purse, that you can hold underneath to create a vacuum?
This is such
no purse?
Astonishingly bad idea.
Perhaps a shoe.
Shoes are bad. I knew somebody who vomited in someone's shoes once. It was bad because it was their shoes.
Did they deliberately aim at their shoes?
No. They just needed to get away and vomit and ended up grabbing a random pair of shoes at a party and vomiting into those shoes, only to post-vomiting discover they had actually picked up their pair of shoes.
Well, that's justice then. That's fair.
It sure is.
That's good karma. I would hope I would grab my own pair of shoes.
Nah, somebody else's.
Could you imagine if someone did that to you?
Yeah.
How would you not just die from anger?
Well, I would laugh first because that's fucking crazy. And then I would walk home with no shoes. I would not even attempt to retrieve the shoes.
Yeah, sure. I my point is I'm not putting that on
For
anybody.
me, it would be like, this is what I get for going outside.
I'm not putting that on anybody. I'm grabbing my own shoe. You can replace.
But you'll throw up in your girlfriend's purse.
Well, I mean, sure, I don't have a purse.
So if you had showed up to the party with no shoes, then it would have been fine to throw up in other people's shoes because you don't have shoes.
No. I'm saying in the situation where you're sitting in a church,
I can't.
And the wedding is happening, and the difference is the purse or the floor.
Why did you just throw up in the manger? Or whatever.
Like, if you can throw up in anything that can be picked up and removed from the room, that's way better than fucking up the whole wedding.
Woolie, I want you to run this story by Steph afterwards and see what she thinks of you throwing up in her purse.
Will do.
I think she'll be like, no, you puke all over yourself.
I mean, or whatever. Replace everything in the purse. That's fine.
No,
No,
this
what?
is that fancy blush that only was sold under a full
Yeah, we get
moon.
more. Who cares?
It's easy for you to say that, Woolie. It's easy for you to say that.
She doesn't use that much makeup anyway.
Sure, I know, but whatever.
Whatever.
It's a sacred spot.
It's replaceable. It's replaceable. The difference.
You'll die.
The container to remove from the room, the safe containment versus the smell and the ruining of that moment.
So here's the thing that kind of strikes
How does
me.
that not
This
make sense?
This is the thing that kind of strikes me about this, and it might be just me. But you keep mentioning the smell. Vomit has a smell?
Oh, fuck. Well, here we go. Here we go, then. The worst part of vomit is the smell.
Because I don't think I've ever smelled it.
Well, this is now where the layer of the conversation goes somewhere else entirely. When vomit goes somewhere in a room, that room is gone. It is a fucking bomb. It is a grenade of ugh.
So I'm going to point out
The smell is what makes other people vomit.
I thought it was the view of other people vomiting.
You smell it. It hits you, and that scent, remember, memory is tied strongest to smell.
Yeah.
That smell, that's what brings you back.
So here's the thing, though. I have people
What the fuck?
People that are confused, and you should know this.
Yeah,
Willie.
you have a terrible
I
sense
have
of
a
smell.
Fucking terrible sense of smell.
Well, now
It's
we're operating.
astonishing
So now we're
how bad my
operating
sense
with
of smell
different
is.
parameters because the sense of urgency for you is just the visual.
Well, I know then the mass.
and the horror,
Yeah.
right? But what you're not factoring in is you can't stand in that room to have the rest of the ceremony anymore.
Yeah, but Woolie, by that token, once it's out of your body, once it's exited your body in the vicinity, the smell's still there.
It's going to be there, but it's not anywhere near as strong if it doesn't hit the ground and rise, right? You know the whole flush toilet thing?
Yeah.
Right. It's like that, where it's the difference between closing the lid, flushing the toilet, versus having it out in the open and like taking that process for the janitor to come down and the whole thing to start. It's in the air at that point.
I don't know, man.
The containment is a huge factor in mitigating the smell.
I want to say that your mentality on this is noble, but I don't think it would be as effective as you think it would be.
Because the actual scent, like, spreading to the room, even after you get someone to come in and wipe it down with all the chemicals and whatever.
Well, then you got chemical smell. Which is great.
On top of barf smell.
Nah, chemical smell kills it.
Nah, man. Nah, dude. You're
yeah,
not.
I have.
If you don't know what the smell of vomit is, you don't know how bad this gets.
I fucking have an astonishingly fucking terrible sense of smell.
It's very bad, and the risk of other people barfing is not zero.
Yeah, well, I mean, okay. So here's the question. Here's my question for you, Woolie. about how you're going to feel. Let's say you're going to throw up, right? And you pull your shirt out and you start vomiting into your shirt, right? Okay, so you've succeeded. And then you look up to see that upon watching and smelling you, someone else has just vomited all over the floor.
Yeah.
Thereby completely negating any possible
You did your best. The world didn't work out the way you hoped.
But here's my question.
Yeah.
Do you just then drop your hands and let it hit the floor?
Probably.
And just go, fuck it.
Probably. At that point. You know?
I tried.
Like, you really did your best. And
someone else didn't.
Someone else didn't, and now it's all the same thing. Right? Because once it's off, it's off.
Yeah.
It is... How do I describe it? It's a putrid smelling of sickness.
Yeah.
Right? And it's not like butts and poop smell like whatever. They
like
smell
sulfur.
Like bad, you know? And
specifically it smells like sulfur.
Sure. Yeah. And piss smells like, like
urea.
Yeah, the ammonia.
Yeah, ammonia, that's it.
Right? And barf is coming in with like the flavor of every time you've ever been sick.
Yeah.
That little like thing that you get inside your throat, inside your nose, the taste, the little just
all those bad burps that hit the back of your throat.
And you're like, that wasn't normal.
That was too much. There was
something else
there.
Came up there.
Yeah.
Right? The acidity. The acidity.
The acidity is by far the worst.
You can smell the acidity.
Yeah.
And it gets you, and it just stays. It's so bad. It's so bad that I'm like, don't let that happen. You know? That's a ruiner. That's a pure ruiner. And yeah, if you're in a place where it doesn't fucking matter anyway, if you're at a party, then
yeah,
party.
Just throw up on some person's floor.
And also, if you're at a party, again, we're talking about alcohol, right?
Yeah.
But if it's a like sick food barf,
I have a follow-up question here, and this is just my own curiosity as to your opinion. You're at a party, and the party's, let's say, the 10th floor. Okay, you're not gonna make it to the bathroom. Which is more socially acceptable? The floor or off the balcony?
Oh, Jesus. Okay, hold on a second.
Because there's a dice roll.
Okay, hold on a second. Front balcony?
Balcony that would overlook a pedestrian area.
Not alleyway.
Not alleyway.
Because I'll hit an alleyway in a heartbeat.
You'll hit a balcony alleyway?
I'll lean out a window into an alleyway in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Front?
Yeah. Street?
No, I can't.
Okay, what if the party's in a place that's really high up, so you know they won't be able to like get to you? Like it's like, you're
that's not the point.
Isn't it?
For me,
isn't it?
No, I can't do it. I can't do that. That's fucked.
See, here's the thing. I would want to do it, but I wouldn't be able to do it.
Couldn't do it.
Because there's like, what if I puked out there and like, it was like a punch of vomit to like an old lady walking her dog or something.
Yeah. Certain heights, that is lethal.
That's not true. That was a lie.
What if
that was?
What if it's off the top of the Burj Khalifa? Then what?
It would probably not hit the ground in any discernible...
And what if it freezes in midair?
No, it would probably get blown about so much that there'd just be a light mist, that hits like a very large area.
Yeah, probably.
Because it's so high up that the winds and stuff, and you know what? If you puked out the window of the Burj Khalifa, you would probably just have it blown right back in your face.
But if anything was solid coming up, that's still a risk.
Nah, birds will get it before it hits the ground.
Nah,
birds love
that solid thing, and let's say that starts to harden and freeze up.
Yeah.
Now what?
Yeah.
Now you have a projectile on your hands, and that wind blows it, and that piece of whatever is now solid.
And the friction chipped it off, so now it's a spike.
And that's a death. That's a potential death on your hands. I don't know, man.
I don't think.
I don't know. In the party is rough.
Yeah.
But out the window onto people living their lives.
But it's possible that...
How about this? Compromise.
Do you remember...
Compromise.
Do you remember us walking down the street of Sherbrooke near the Vendôme Metro like 5 years ago, and a water balloon hit the ground behind us?
I will never forget it. It was not 5 years ago.
It wasn't?
It was a much longer time ago.
Way longer than that?
It was like 8 years ago.
8 years ago?
And I still talk about it to this day. To this day. To this day. I was telling somebody...
This just popped into my mind.
I was telling someone about that this weekend.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about how horrible Toronto gets, and my friend was and my friend told me about how he got egged.
Yeah.
He just got egged walking around Toronto
for no reason.
And I brought up the fact that one time walking around, just a water balloon,
regular water balloon. Full of water, blue balloon.
Was it water?
Yeah, it was.
The liquid was dark.
It looked like water.
It was low evening, so it was hard to identify.
Sunsetty.
But it looked like it hit the sidewalk, and the sidewalk looked darker than it would if it were just water. And I remember being like, "What's up with that?" And looking around.
I was walking in the back, so it almost hit me. But, like, I still had, like, a foot of clearance. But, like, you know, almost. And then the most confusing thing is that we all stopped, looked at that, and then started scanning
the skies.
All the rooftops.
Yep.
No viable rooftops.
Nothing. Include the one right next to us was an abandoned building. Like, there was no window you could have leaned out of. Everything was closed. I think, because it fell from the sky. It definitely did not come from a car or anything like that, right? I think it's a fucking mystery, but I suspect that somebody had a crazy ass slingshot.
Oh, and was just doing it,
and from a pretty crazy distance,
like, you know,
away,
a block or two over some
just
shit.
slingshotted something in a random direction.
Yeah,
right. Because it came down on it was so weird, and it couldn't have been any buildings near us.
It's right next to the overpass too, so there were no high buildings in that area.
I'll never forget.
It was the weirdest fucking thing,
you know. And you're like, "Fucking cowards, come at me!" Right?
There were no cowards,
but there was none to be seen.
It was very clear that no one was around us to have launched it.
No Snickers, no closing windows. No.
Yeah, if it was dumbass kids on the roof next to us. Right? They had somehow climbed up onto the roof of the abandoned building, you would hear laughing, for sure.
They would at least stick their head out enough to see the impact.
Yeah, nothing.
Right? Because no one throws it and stops looking.
And see, oh, did it hit someone? I don't know.
Why would you go through the exercise to not see the fruits of your labor?
Yeah.
So that makes no sense. I'm thinking it was a crazy-ass slingshot that fucking came from, like, across a street.
Yeah.
Or something wild. That's the only theory.
It's the only way that makes sense.
Can't imagine anything else.
I think about that like every couple weeks.
Oh yeah. It stays with me.
It's a proper fucking unsolved mystery.
Stays with me. And you have to think about what kind of slingshot they would need for that, because the slingshot theory I only started circulating a couple years ago.
You can throw those a couple 100 yards, man.
Well, I've seen that's the thing. You see those videos of, like, the person that, like, gets the fucking goalposts and just pulls a thing back and lets it rock, and you're like, that's travel. So someone with one of those, or any kind of like verticality to it, you know? Yeah,
because it would have had to clear the nearby buildings.
Yeah, that's my theory on it.
That's a pretty decent working theory.
I've spent way too much of my life thinking about that moment and what could have happened there. Like, real talk, it stuck with me fucking hard. And the fact that the liquid was so dark. If it was just water, that'd be one thing, but the liquid was dark. I've had water balloon fights. I've had fucking, you know, we, like, at church we've had a couple of those, and, like, improvised water balloon fights.
Okay, yeah,
right. Plastic bagging it.
Do you have to whip somebody super hard with that?
Yeah. Well, what you do. I remember I was teaching my brother about this, but you put the water in the bag, and then you, like, tie it, like, real tight with the air like in like a so it's a nice, and then you whip it and then it pops on somebody and then it like spreads. So it's almost like a mace.
Yeah,
it's like a water mace or a water flail.
That sounds way more brutal than a water balloon.
I mean, it's not, but if you get him in the head or something, then like guarantees
I'm
the pop.
sure I talked about this before, but did you ever know a kid that had one of those banned super soakers?
No, I saw the commercials for the giant fucking the sumo wrestler one.
Yeah,
but I don't know about like.
There was one I remember. I forget the name of it, but it was this fucking thing. Anybody who grows up at the time probably saw this thing. My friend had this. It was really long. It was like a rifle, and it was gray with the orange tip and purple like globes on the back. The SPF fucking fuck yourself. And it held a lot of water, and the way the pressure worked, I don't remember, but it would hit you and it would sting and it would leave a mark. It hurt. It fucking hurt children.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure some people CPS 2000.
Was it I was gonna say the 5000.
Yeah, it was the CPS 2000. Let me just make sure.
The sumo one. The commercial was a kid pumping it up and holding back a sumo wrestler, and you saw the dent on his skin as the water was spraying into him.
Yeah, it was definitely the CPS 2000. Mm. And if I remember correctly, but I might not, there was a fucking one that came out after that was advertised as being twice as strong that did not last.
The eye remover?
Well, because do you remember the way Super Soaker manufactured their shit back in the day? Every single one that came out, the commercial said that it was twice as strong as the one before.
Yeah.
And it was an exponential power increase on it.
And the CPS line, because the Super Soakers were always better than normal water guns because they used air pressure.
Yeah.
Whereas normal water guns just fucking jizzed out some stupid fucking flops.
Yeah.
And the CPS line, like, you got to compress those pumps, right? So it was more than just air pressure. It was like, it was pressure, but like it really, you get that, and you'd hear how
much the water didn't want
to leave
in there.
And I remember when you'd empty out your container in the transparent ones, you could still see the mist forming on the edge of the glass, or not the glass, of the plastic, because like it was compressing the air so fucking tight, you know?
Okay, so my friend did not have the 2000. He must have had the 1000 or something like that, because the 1000 hurt like shit, and then the 2000 came out and was labeled as twice as powerful, and it didn't last.
Yeah.
It was taken off the market because if you got hit in the eye, you would go blind.
You're gone. Yeah, absolutely. And it was all about distance. At first.
Bullshit!
At first.
It was about distance.
At first, it was about distance because the Super Soakers would be able to aim accurately from really far away, and then it just became that power, the impact, you know, and it was a very clear transition, especially by the time the CPS line came out, because
it's fucking you were firing at these from 1 foot away.
I mean, like the first fucking Super Soakers were just way better than average water guns.
Yeah,
way better. And average water guns would be garbage by the time you got to the last couple shots.
Yeah, terrible.
Flaccid, you know? But these were long and strong. And you fucking kept them going.
Just hurt your children with this shit.
Yeah, man. And it doesn't even take like you're gonna get hit in the eye.
Yeah, for sure.
Random spray shots are gonna get you. A normal water gun in the eye, you go, fuck.
I got water in my eye.
You know, it's not great. Yeah. Those things were intense.
This is an era that will never come again, which is the era of like laughably dangerous children's products.
Well,
like I don't think any fucking. Did you ever know a kid whose dad had lawn darts?
No.
The most lethal object to ever exist.
We've also lived beyond the era of home uranium mercury kits.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
To be honest, we'll never know how bad it could possibly get. literally home nuclear fucking kit to learn how nuclear energy works.
Oops.
Here's your own little bit of enriched uranium.
Oops.
Please enjoy.
I will.
You know. Yeah. So
hey, listen, we've been able to talk about all this crap for 52 minutes, and neither of us have vomited or shit our pants.
the topic started as a warning you were going to long-windedly get to.
Yeah.
Which was that we might get up and go use the bathroom.
Yeah, we might.
But I'm three days.
Oh, I'm not long. Yeah.
I'm 3 days past it now. So, like, it's on its tail end.
It's the dregs or whatever.
But it's still, like, yeah. So the pain is mostly gone. The nausea's mostly gone. Like, Tylenols keep the headaches fine for a few hours. But, like, my body is not yet done drying itself out,
so to speak. Yeah.
You know.
Well,
yeah,
I'll get better soon, buddy.
Yeah, you need your fluid. You
You know why you need your fluid? If anybody at home
electrolytes too
who fucking would throw up and you would get frustrated with your mom or dad being like, drink water, and you're like, no, the water will make me throw up. You want to have something to throw up. The dry retch is the worst human experience that exists.
It's pretty painful. You can feel your insides twisting and contorting.
It's so bad.
It's not great. Tell you what I did though. When that bad food hit.
Yeah.
Well, I couldn't do anything at the moment, but the next morning, went right to Walmart. Found out that they do sell activated charcoal pills.
Oh, does it help?
Charcoal is really good. It depends on the type of. So I've talked about drinking charcoal before.
Yeah.
To which everyone
was like, what? And then I
astonished.
discovered it was a totally real thing.
Yes, and so depends on whether it's a bacterial or like viral type infection.
Bacterial helps, I assume.
Because it kills the living.
The virus, nothing's gonna help you.
Kills the living,
Yeah.
right? In that way. So, yeah, it usually, if you can get to it pretty quickly, it'll do a good job of like stopping that irritation right almost immediately. It's really, really fast.
Well, that's
working.
lucky.
And again, the story I told before was about how I called my mom insane with her dumb home remedy of like, not even home remedy over with her, like, because it's just one of, I'm like, is this one of these like ridiculous like church story remedy things you're gonna bring? And it's like, nah, it fucking worked.
Yeah, no, it's a thing. I brought it up to my mom. She's like, yeah. I'm like, oh.
Right.
It's an old person thing that we.
Are you gonna use the word toxins when you're talking to me? You know. But then it turns out that not only does it works extremely well, and then once it does that, the garbage is still in your body, and then it's just got to spend the rest of its time getting out.
Yeah.
But you can get rid of a lot of that pain right off the bat. So I went and grabbed some of those in addition to like a bunch of other fucking.
Did you grab any crystals?
I didn't grab any crystals. No magnets. Didn't catch any of that at the pharmaceutical section.
Do you believe they fucking sell those magnetic wristbands at like Pharmaprix?
Yes.
Oh, that's bullshit.
They also sell water that had been sitting in medicine.
Oh.
That has the memory.
The memory of being medicine.
Anyway, it'll never be, at least with the pills, it goes into your system and then does its thing. Like the idea of mixing it into water and drinking is just too weird for most people because it makes your teeth look black, your tongue is black, and
it's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing. But fuck me if it doesn't save your life.
Also, you can't shake the idea of like, I'm eating dirt.
Yeah, but it has no flavor. It doesn't taste like anything, right? Water tastes like water, but like you will chug it the next time you're in pain with how fast it kicks in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, don't knock the charcoal.